Well, it didn't take long for business to drop like a rock. Tom and I had to let all our employees go, and it was down to just the two of us, and we were about to go under. And that was great, because with no employees, there was nobody for me to manage. So when a little project came through the door, I went back to doing it, which is what I love to do. And that energized me again and got me going again. And suddenly I was working longer because I enjoyed it again. And to cut a long story short, did all the things that took me back up to success, but it wasn't a quick trip. It took 7 years to get back up there. But in the end, business grew bigger than ever, and we achieved more success than ever. And a little side benefit, when I went back to doing these 8 things, the black cloud over my head disappeared altogether. And I woke up one day and said, I don't need Prozac. And I threw it away, and haven't needed it since, except at income tax time. So I discovered success doesn't look like this. It's not a one-way street. It looks like this. It's a continuous journey. And we just keep doing these 8 things because that's not only how we achieve success, it's how we sustain it. And that's really where the fun is. So in conclusion, what's the really big thing that I learned since I started this journey over 10 years ago? The really big thing I learned is never sit next to a kid on a plane, especially one that asks big questions, because you could waste 10 years of your life answering that question. So here's to your success, whatever that means to you. Be great and do great things, because the world needs you. Thanks a lot. You've been a great audience. Thank you, Mumbai.
Thank you very much, Richard. I think the entire presentation was so insightful in so many ways that I would now like to, I think, give it over to the audience. If there's anybody in the audience with questions before the signing happens, anybody with questions?
Would be self-belief, because purely in terms of observation, that's what I see is holding most people back. So many people are working very hard, they're having lots of ideas, but they're not really confident about themselves, about their abilities to do stuff as well as market themselves. So I would put self-belief as number one there. See, just wanted your views on that.
Yeah, I know I have self-belief. It's in my research, but it's one of the secondary factors because most of the top people I interviewed had no belief in themselves. They had no belief. Frank Gehry is one of the world's top architects. He thinks he's terrible. But that's what makes him great, because the minute you have self-belief and think you're really good, you sit back in your comfort zone and you don't work hard. So the trick is to find that balance between where you do have some belief to keep you going, but if you get too comfortable in your belief, I say you'll go down. I found that through so many people, and I can show you examples. So I'm not saying self-belief isn't important for some people. It's a secondary factor. Much more, self-doubt is actually a good thing to have. Just as good as believing in yourself. Self-doubt, I would say, is more important. Because all the greats have self-doubt. They don't all have belief in themselves.
And it's a book idea. I don't want royalties for it. I just want to be acknowledged for this idea. Maybe another book could be 8 traits of exceptionally bad people or exceptional failures.
No, that's a good
because if people have these 8 beliefs, at the same time they also have other beliefs which are holding them back, then these 8 beliefs may not help them too much. And to give you one instance of that is atheism. I used to believe in God, and then one day I decided to do an inventory check of all the beliefs I had that were pulling me back, and I decided to give up on God. So I became an atheist, and my Facebook status reflects that. Now, there's a correlation done.
But let me just break in. Let me just tell you, when I did my research, I studied homeless people too. I studied people that were not successful in any way. So I had a control group to compare that I could compare to the successful people. And the control group of unsuccessful people basically gave me all different answers from what the exact opposite of what all the successful people said. So basically, I could write a book on, basically it's the opposite of all those things. Don't love what you do. Don't work hard. Don't focus. Be all over the map. I can go on and tell you instantly what the failure part is.
Yeah, but there are some beliefs that plenty of people think are essential for success. Belief in God is just one.
No, but okay, there's another example. Some people, a belief in God has really helped them. You know what I mean? I've interviewed some very successful people who have a strong belief in God, and that belief in God is sort of like having the mother pushing you, that you have another force on your side pushing you along. So to me, that's great. But I also interviewed a lot of successful people who didn't have that, weren't at all religious. So I'm saying it works for some people. I'm after the common elements in this particular book.
Okay.
Like I said, there's 300 other factors that can help you. And belief in God is great for some people, not for others. And but those 8 traits are important for everybody. So that's
great. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Hi. I am Anil Thomas. I am a chemistry coach. For the last 10 years I've been teaching. And eventually I've been told that I need to teach less so that I can develop more teachers, climb up the ladder. And as I am doing these things at these levels, I don't enjoy that because that's not what I'm good at.
Right, you like teaching.
I still like going down to the students and teaching.
Great, yeah.
But as I'm teaching them, developing them or giving them the skills that they need, I don't grow it to that level. And if I have to grow it, I have to withdraw from there. And each time I withdraw, I fall there. And when I come in there, the graph goes up. And then again, I need to manage people and get them there, and that circle continues.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And some of the great companies have had 2 tracks. Like when I worked at Bell Northern Research, the worst thing they would do is take a great scientist and turn him into a manager, and they were always terrible managers because they were like you, they're not interested in managing. They want to do the science. And they should be able to do that. So you need a separate track for managers and a separate track for content people that stay where they want to be. But institutions generally are trying, they drive you out, they promote you to your level of no passion, unfortunately. I can't help you, but the great companies like Google and stuff, the new ones coming along are much more flexible, right? They let you gravitate toward your passion and just go wherever it is. And if you're passionate about management, that's great. Find a manager or find a partner who will do the management part for you, so you can stay focused on the, entertainers have agents who handle all the stuff they don't want to handle, so they can stay focused on entertaining. But it takes a long time for industry to come around. Thank you.
My question is, there is a path to success, and there are some factors that are very important if you want to be successful. But the problem is if you are at baseline depressed, not able to achieve your potential, and you are in a vicious circle in which things are just going from bad to worse, where do you propose you begin your journey towards revival or success or redemption or whatever you call it?
Well, I guess it's a case of following your passion. That's always seems to be the saving thing you can do. Because if you love to do something, you're happy doing it, and so that's all I can say is that's sort of number one, in the sense that if you love something you're doing, you will work hard, you will persist through a lot of the crap you have to go through and stuff. So if you don't know your passion, that's a problem too. You just got to keep trying stuff until you get there. Yeah. Thank you.
Audience, thank you very much for your participation. But before we end, a very, very special thank you to Embassy Books. Sohin, he's standing right there, the publisher of the book right behind. For giving the book such a wonderful platform. And thank you very much, Richard, for giving us such a wonderful insight into so many different things about the book. I think everybody is taking home a slice of what you've said, and I think the books are on display at the store, ladies and gentlemen, and we have Richard here with us, so please don't forget to get your copy signed. Once again, a round of applause for Mr. Richard St. John on his amazing book, 8 to be great. And I think it's not more, it's not less, it's just 8 to be great. Yeah, thank you very much, sir, and have a lovely evening. Hope to see you soon once again at Crossword. Thank you.